the message in the locker room is that you can't live today on what you did yesterday. And just because you shot well yesterday doesn't mean you're going to shoot well today. Just because you played well yesterday isn't guaranteed that you're going to play well today. It's the habits over the period of time that these guys put in the work that they got to continue to trust. And then they have to, the hard part in the Art of War by Sun Tzu is to know thyself and then know thy enemy. Know thyself and then know thy enemy. He who knows himself but does not know his enemy is always susceptible to defeat. Right? He who knows his enemy but does not know thyself is always susceptible to defeat. And so you have to understand the disposition of the man coming into the mission. And Detroit is not going to quit. Mike Davis is a hell of a coach. They're not going to roll over and just lay one out there. I mean, we told those guys that from the start. And sometimes when you're dealing with young men, 17 to 22-year-olds, that they just think, like, I can just come out and play. I can just show up. We want the fans to just show up. That's their responsibility. They just got to show up. Then they got to cheer. We have to show up with the right mentality, the right intention, the right attitude, the right effort, the right discipline, the right habits, right? The right connectivity, the right competitiveness. We have to show up in a lot of different ways. And that goes into every single game. So for our guys to finally figure it out, and we had to solve some problems today. It was an FIO game, and we wrote that on the board. It was an urgency game, but also there's going to be some problems that we had to solve. And I wasn't sure Noah Reynolds could score 60 points, so I'm sure glad DJ Douglas showed up today. All right, because DJ came in, with the most, beautiful, heroic second half that you could possibly have. And I get mad at him, just like Foster, I get mad at him when they turn the ball over. I was like, I'd rather you shoot from half court than turn the ball over, all right? Like, get us a shot first. But if DJ Douglas doesn't show up today, after being out for an extended period of time with battling a pretty tough injury to come back from, if he doesn't show up today, then we don't win this game. And that's why he's sitting up here with us right now. And this is a freshman who, his body of work over the last 3 to 5 games that he's actually been healthy and played in has been phenomenal. And that's why I told you from the jump, I don't care if you have 0 scholarships or 20 scholarships, you still got to show up and do the job. And this guy, we believed in him from the start, and he's continued to prove us right. Not prove everybody else wrong, but prove us right. So I'm super proud of this guy right here.
DJ, for you, I feel like after winning the 3-pointers and there was a timeout call, I think I got into my camera and you say, I'm back. It felt like this was a big game for you, 6 or 8 from a deep 6 straight. Talk about that and just being back and finding a rhythm from behind the arc.
Well, it felt like forever I was out. I was asking Kim, when you think I'll be back? When you think I'll be back? So it was just really good to be back out there and actually effective, because when I played at Oakland, I still was feeling a little bit, and mentally I was kind of hesitant with some things. But today, felt ready to go. Told Coach, let him know I was ready to go. And I was just happy I could make a big impact. And didn't know I was going to have a big second half, but had a big second half and ended up helping close the game out.
You've had some really good games, but have you had that type of feeling like that everything you were going to make, everything you were going to put up was going to go in? I saw a couple of smirks after, you're feeling pretty good.
Man, I never played, we had some home games, but the amount of fans here and the energy, it was just even more, it was a great feeling, because IUPUI wasn't that many fans there and stuff, so this was definitely a great feeling. Have all the fans there cheering you on, and then teammates, coaches supporting, so just amazing feeling.
DJ, do you feel like this was kind of I know early on in the season you had a big game too, but do you feel like today was kind of a showing of what you can bring to this team? Because in Illinois you led the state in scoring. You were money from 3 today.
Yeah, so I actually really was trying to focus on the defensive end this game. Coach Pat was talking to me. He said, get your defense going first, and the rest will come. So just really staying locked in on both ends of the court and not just really trying to rely on my shot to get me going, but more so on the defensive end. I felt like that really helped me get me going. And then my shot was falling, and we had the energy, and we just kept rolling.
Coach, when someone gets hot like this, either him or Noah, are you kind of all right, just get the ball to them guys?
Yeah, I'm not an idiot. Yeah, I'm not that smart, but I ain't that dumb, right? So I know this. I looked at the bench. I said, he gonna shoot and he gonna shoot. About 2 guys. And if anybody else shoots, it's probably the wrong guy shooting the basketball right now, because nothing was happening for us on the other side of the basketball with a lot of our guys, which, on nights like this when it's tough to find it, you just got to find the matchup. We hunted those matchups, and Noah had it cooking. But then ultimately, like I said, Noah couldn't score 60 tonight, and if he would have scored 60, we would have lost by 4. All right, and so we had to have another guy step up, and not only DJ, but I'm just going to give a real big shout out once again to Ryan Wade. And Ryan Wade come in and he played 20 minutes and was able to move the ball where we wanted it to move. He's able to play the 4 spot for us. We had to go to a small ball lineup, play dribble drive motion, put an offense in at halftime that we never ran before, because we needed to make some adjustments. And part of my job is to make sure that I put the guys in this position to be successful. But also, they have to trust me that when we come into halftime, we say, hey, guys, we're probably going to end up playing small ball because they're really small. We're not matching up right with them. We're going to play a whole new offense. And they're going to go, yeah, you crazy, but we're with it, coach. We're with it. We got you. All right. But that's just, then players go make plays. And coaches just get out of the way and don't screw it up. And so I just didn't screw it up today. I just let the guys that were hot roll.
What was a more impressive win, to beat, to move into first place, beat the top team in the Horizon on Thursday, or to play on a matinee against a winless team and then for them to figure things out, like, and not let things get out of hand and to find a way to win, which is more impressive for you as a coach?
Both. Both. I mean, both, because both are equally hard, right? And this is part of it. It's a necessary part of this process is to play meaningful games that put you in position to be at the top of the league, but also play meaningful games that could take you out of position to be in the top of the league, and play trap games, and to play games that crowd's going to be there, and to play games where nobody's going to be there, and play games at 12 o'clock, and to play games at 7 o'clock, and play all these different games. And that's why you go through the grueling non-conference that most teams go through, is to just give yourself a body of work and experiences for young players that they feel comfortable in any situation, and they're not shook when they come out and they're like, oh man, what's happening now? I've never been in this situation. Find as many uncomfortable situations as you possibly can early in your tenure as a coach for your program and early in the tenure for these guys, so that as they get older, they just draw back on those experiences. And that's the best form of growth, is to go back on your experiences and learn from those. And we can lose games, but we can't lose lessons. And it's always more exciting to learn a lesson in a win than it is after a loss.
DJ, you took some hard falls there in the second half. I mean, just how's the body feeling after today, and how you're feeling, how you felt the whole game?
Well, I actually felt pretty good the whole game. I know I'm going to feel it later, so not looking forward to that. But my previous injuries definitely feeling like 95% I was telling coach. So I'm almost back to that 100% mark, but other than that, I've been feeling great.
I hate to break it to DJ, but he's never going to feel 100% for the rest of his life. Right? I hate to break it to you. So you get to 99, man. Let me know how you do that. You got the Ponce de Leon Fountain of Youth over here, all right? Let me know how that goes.
Sonny, any update on Elijah? I know he's battling food illness.
Yeah, it's just, when you get food poisoning and then the combination of dehydration, it's just you try to push yourself a little bit. That's what I love about him. He pushed himself to try to get back in practice, and he just kind of regressed a little bit last night. And at the end of the day, we're always going to err on the side of safety for our guys. We're going to take guys the caution to get back because, like I said, mentally, that's the most important part is mentally, can you get yourself ready to go? Anybody can tell a guy to push through, but at the end of the day, if he can't tell himself to push through and his body can't physiologically do it, then we're making a bad mistake on our part. So Elijah's, the most important thing for Elijah was rest and recovery, hydration. And we got a good amount of time right now till IUPUI on Thursday, which is nice. One game this week, so that's big for our program and good for our guys. Have been through a hell of a stretch right here. And so this recovery is going to be massive for our guys to have one game this week and then be able to kind of deload a little bit and then let some guys recover.
Yeah, you look at what Noah's done this season. I think today was his fifth 30-point game, but the last two games, single digits. Do you know, coming in, that this is going to be a game that we're going to need 30 and you kind of give him a green light, or, know?
He always has a green light. I don't think that light's ever been yellow or red. It's just been green. But the amazing part about that is when you have a neon green light that stays lit, he feels the game at a different level than most players, because he can go 8 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, and we can win by 10, or he can go score 30 and we can win by 10. It's just he gives us what we need in the moment, and that's what makes special players, is that there's a lot of people that can go out there and score, but people who can go out there and score and then assist and win on top of that, that makes a special guy. And just the model of efficiency at which he does it is remarkable. 14 for 21 again. Just guys that score 34 points are usually taking 30 shots. There's a lot of guys out there that can score 34 points on 25 shots or 30 shots. And the model of efficiency that he works with is phenomenal. And then just his ability to lead the league in assists and get other guys going. That's what makes him different.
I know you've been around him for a long time, but does anything that Noah does surprise you or amaze you still? I mean, he's just so efficient, like you were saying.
No, nothing surprises me with him anymore, honestly. Kind of crazy. I've seen this in practice for 2 years at Wyoming. Then you see it We see it every day in the gym at practice. It's what you see in practice. If you guys came to practice and saw things like these two guys, the reason why he is actually like where he's at right now, if you would have seen the battles in the summer of these two dogs like barking at each other. I got little fresh fishy over here who's just fresh juicy right off the boat, right? Fresh juicy. Everyone wants to slice him up and, get some of DJ over here. I got the fresh fish over here barking at Noah Reynolds, and those two guys in the middle of summer going at each other, and we're like, what the hell's going on over here? Like these two cats, like, what's happening? What's really happening right now? Like that guy in the rescue, he goes, what's happening? Like DJ's over here barking at Noah, Noah's over here barking at DJ, and those two got better, and his growth is accelerated because of competition. And everybody shies away from that crap. I mean, I'll probably get a little bit fired up right now, but everybody shies away from the real competitive side of this, which is you earn your stripes in practice, man. That's where you earn them. You earn how to play and how to compete in practice. You don't learn how to play or compete in the game. I get goosebumps talking about it. And the way he's played and the ways he competed in practice, the way he's tried to go at Noah in practice in the middle of the summer, that's what's made him special so far this year. So you want a lesson for anybody out there, you better show up in practice. Show up in practice, you're a real dude. You show up on game night, you're a gamer. And I don't trust gamers. I trust people who show up in practice.
Entering the final stretch now, how do you kind of keep on this high? I know when you got hired, we asked, like, do you ever run out of energy? It feels like this season especially, you're just constantly sprinting. How do you keep this going now, the final stretch?
I have a doppelganger. You don't see him, but like there's somebody else out there. I actually not coaching when I'm coaching. I just come in here with a lot of energy. It's Trevor. It's my doppelganger. He's got a deeper voice than me though, so it's like he doesn't get to talk. When he just runs like there he is. He's over there. Then my brother-in-law over here. He's another doppelganger. Like anybody that's got a nice shiny bald head, that's probably a doppelganger for me. So just running around like a bunch of minions. It's too important to me, and it's too important that I show up the same way for my guys every single day, just like the same way I show up for my family. It's too important for me to not show up the way that everybody needs me to. And it's a gift and a curse, to be a guy who can show up for his family and to show up for his team and to show up for the community, because I want everybody to feel it the way I feel it, and I wish everybody had that. But God gave it to me. If I don't use it, He's going to take it away. So I know that's my cross to bear every single day. And so till I die, I will run this damn race as fast as I freaking can. And so you want to sprint, keep the hell up, all right? Because we ain't stopping.
DJ, I haven't talked to you in a while, but is this kind of what you envisioned when you came to Green Bay, whether it's, the program getting the buzz it has, you guys, the results on the court, is this kind of what you thought it could look like, months back?
Yeah, so I definitely, being one of the first recruits or the first recruit from Coach Sundance, I was talk to my parents. I'm used to being underdogs. When I was at Yorkville Christian my senior year, we were a lot of guys transfer, so we were bottom of the rankings. We didn't make some rankings, so I just knew that we could do something special here with Coach Sundance, and I didn't know I was gonna have this big of a role, but now that I'm here and doing the things I'm doing, it's just really exciting to see my development and then our team doing as well as we're doing, and the fans and the community getting together. So it's just a great feeling.
Yeah, I mean, he was the first guy to say yes, Outside of the guys we re-recruited like CC, Amari, Ryan. I mean, we're sitting in Gallagher's Pizza, man. I just remember, I didn't know crap about Green Bay. I'm like, where do I take a guy on a visit up here, man? I'm like, let's go to Gallagher's Pizza. We're in the middle of Gallagher's Pizza just chomping on some za and just sitting down with him and his brothers, his mom and dad. And I was over there pitching my best stuff, man. I was pitching my best stuff. I was like, we're going to get a steal here. And I don't know how this is going to happen. And you don't even know this, but your dad would text me on the side. He'd be like, don't worry, Coach. We're going to get him coming, Coach. We're going to be here, Coach. And I'm like, well, when the heck's going to happen, man? I'm tired of waiting around here. Your dad's leading me on over here. But David Douglas Sr., man, big shout out to the guy working behind the scenes,
Sonny, there was a few times the last few games where your guys have had possessions taken away from them for traveling. Is that something you can coach at practice, or is that how for you?
It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. We work Hall of Fame footwork, all right, body ball movement, start, stops, and turns every day. So for our guys to step on my pet peeve, catch the ball in the corner, then split start and step on the sideline out of bounds. I mean, we had 3 of those today. It just drives me nuts. Because we work on tight, efficient movement patterns every single day. And that's just a lack of focus. So when we have dumb turnovers like that, unforced errors that are marginal in big wins, we could have had 8 turnovers instead of 11. and there's potentially the way we're scoring right now, shooting, 50% from the field, that's four or five more points possibly. And so, that stuff drives me nuts because that's a lack of focus and intentionality, but we work on it every single day, so we just got to trust the process. And now it's not what you teach, what you emphasize. I'm just going to have to emphasize at the start of practice a lot more. You don't split start, and if they're not taking it serious, I'm just going to have to start harping on my assistants, and then they're going to get pissed off at me because now the assistant's going to have to start harping on body ball movement, start stops and turns, the Hall of Fame footwork, and then all the players are going to be like, why is coach losing his mind over just pivoting? Well, there's 3 possessions that we didn't get today, and there's 3 in the last game that we didn't get today. That could have been a difference between winning and losing.
One more for me, but for Noah to have his, grandparents here, his grandma on the court, for you, I mean, you always talk about the family affair with him. Did he say anything, for you, is that cool to see kind of his family come out and support him too?
I love it. My family's right here in the press conference right now. I got surprised this weekend, my sister, she, sneakily outbid somebody at our golf outing to get a free stay at the Lodge Kohler. I guess it wasn't free, they paid for it. Stay at the Lodge Kohler. I mean, I haven't even been in Lodge Kohler right now, so when's somebody going to hook me up with a Lodge Kohler stay? I got my sister and brother-in-law out here from Denver living the good life, You got a spa that I can go to? Okay, I get back to your question. I understand what you're talking about here. Okay, sidebar. It's so important that the people on the roster, the players on the roster, have family that are close. They stay connected to it. I mean, you lose a little bit of your mojo, man, when you don't get to see your family as much as you'd like to. I'd love to see my family more. It's a grueling profession. But when you can see your family, sometimes it just sparks a little bit more inside of you that you've been missing. And if for some reason, I don't know how his mom and grandma keep getting closer to the floor every single game. When, someone's working behind the scenes out there, and no one goes over and hugs grandma and mom over there. I'm like, what the heck? How'd they get on the court? But it's what it should be. It's what it should be. And this is a family affair. I got a lot of tattoos. I got a tattoo right here on this bicep that says family over everything. My family's the most important thing to me. I got a wife, and I got 2 kids. I got my mom and dad and my sister and my brother and my brother-in-law. My sister-in-law, Alex. But, when you get your family, you realize how important your mom and dad were to your development, but then they taught you how to become a husband, how to become a father. So then you just carry that on for the next generation for your family. And hopefully Skywalker and Grace will grow up, under the house. And when they go out in the real world, they're going to get a husband and a wife at some point. And then they're just going to carry on the torch. And that's the way the world works. But along this process, along this journey, we should enjoy it with those that are around us, those that mean the most to us. And as hard as this stuff is for all these kids, as much pressure and stress as they have, you just get to drop your guard a little bit when you're around family. And you can just be relaxed and you can just be you. And that's probably the biggest reason why it's so cool to see Noah's family and DJ's family come up, and Foster Wonder's family and Rudy's family and Rich's family, and seeing all these families come to the game, Ryan Wade's dad all the time, seeing all these families come, because it means a lot for those guys to recover mentally, to be around their family.